Well, air quality was better this week, but when the smoke from the many fires across the Northwest blanketed Boise, doctors were advising people to be outside as little as possible. Well, what if you had to spend part of your day outside and exercise? KTVB's Terrence Holden caught up with the Boise State women's soccer team, one of many BSU athletic programs who had to practice out in that smoke. And Terrence, how were the coaches looking out for their players?
Well, Hunter, it was a lot of factors, from extra breaks to practice indoors, but for the women's soccer team, it's a lot harder to prepare for a sport that is played outside.
On Wednesday, the Broncos kicked their season off with a 3-0 win against Cal State Northridge, but the preparation that went into the victory came with difficulties. Smoke from wildfires across the Northwest made it harder to practice outside.
There's definitely an uncomfortable nature to it for certain people. It affects them differently, and you can see those guys are now carrying a little bit of a different load compared to the guys that don't really feel any of the effects.
A few players on the team have underlying health conditions, which make it more difficult for them to exercise to the maximum. But Coach Thomas is hoping his staff has given them the right support.
I think the fact that we've wrapped our arms around it, we talked to them about it, we've given them a plan, they trust us a great deal, that I don't think there's a great deal of frustration in there.
Coach Thomas has had to change his training plan due to the poor air quality. He doesn't necessarily see it as a bad thing. It's given his team a chance to maximize their output in a shorter amount of time.
These kind of things, you can look at it as a negative, or you can say, all right, well, this offers us the opportunity to grow.
Thomas said one of the problems a few members of his team have had was in their roles on the squad when doing high-intensity workouts. The physical strain can lead to mental frustration. Another thing Thomas tries to keep in check.
Again, a lot of grace. A lot of eyes kept on the players to see if the load's too high, if a certain player is reacting negatively to it.
During the poor air quality, the soccer team was able to move practice indoors if the AQI ever got worse than 150. But that still proved a bit difficult. The Boise State football team would also practice indoors. And according to Thomas, football would simulate warmer conditions, so the women's soccer team would sometimes play in a hot and muggy practice facility. Still, Coach Thomas is very grateful for the university's help and an alternate training ground.
You kind of see the infrastructure at work within an athletics department when things are thrown off schedule. So it's a real testament to the fact that this takes a village to make it work, and we're thankful to have it here at Boise State.
It is too early to say about any long-term effects smoke may have, but Thomas is confident in his squad's depth, and when a player needs rest, she'll be able to get some.
Those athletes all about adaptability. Terrence, thank you.